Hello, people. We have Alisa Donyè joining us today. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. I get nervous before every single interview, just to let y'all know. Okay. Hey, Alisa. Send a request and I'll bring you up. Okay, she looks like she's going to join us in a second.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. So you are not alone. I'm a little nervous too. We in this together.
Don't worry about it. This is my, I think my fourth interview.
Okay, you on a roll.
I'm glad. I'm happy. You know what I mean? So, like, I want to start with some basic questions, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So, first, I just want to ask you, like, how did you get started with poetry? Like, how did that get started?
Well, it actually started a very, very long time ago. It took me a minute to really become active. But second grade, Miss
Second
Carter,
grade. You was writing
yes.
poetry in second grade?
Yes, I was introduced to poetry in the second grade.
Okay.
My favorite teacher, I will never forget her. We all have that one that really
Yes.
saw great potential in us and pushed us to be our best. So
Yes.
Miss Carter was that for me. She introduced me to people like Edgar Allan Poe, Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou. There's
Mm-hmm.
this book that I absolutely love called Where the Sidewalk Ends. It's a poetry book.
Yes.
So
I love
that
that book.
you've heard of it?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely, definitely.
So that's when it all began. The only thing is I never shared it. I
Why?
never
How
shared it.
come?
I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote for years and I kept it all to myself. I think I just really didn't see people receiving from it. Like it
What you
was
mean?
like I should just keep it to myself because I don't want to be judged by it.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, these are
Okay.
just my feelings because I literally will write about everything, everything that happens because, art is a reflection of reality.
Right.
Art
Yes,
imitates life.
definitely.
So no matter what's going on, no matter what's happening, I will write about it. And, people, even like, especially this day and age, we have the social media culture and,
Mm-hmm.
people can easily become annoyed by someone else's opinion, or offended,
Yeah.
looking for
You
reasons
heard
to
of
be
cancel
offended.
generation?
Exactly, exactly. So I guess like fear sums it up on why I really didn't share it throughout the years. And then like Poetic Soul opened that up for me, so now I'm sharing.
Wow. That's a great story. That's a great story,
Thank
actually, that you
you.
discovered poetry so young in your life. Because me, I discovered writing too very young. Like I used to write like little stories and stuff. I used to share with my classmates, and I was really shy
Okay,
about it at first. But it's just I had so much confidence in my writing early on that I didn't mind sharing.
that's good.
So that's one thing I really
Okay.
have confidence in. So did you have social anxiety or something? Like, how come you were so shy?
I listen, yes. So that same school, I started at that school and I want to say it might have been in the second grade. And
Okay,
so I was bullied by one person in particular, but like she ganged up with a group of girls and everybody
wow,
was like, let's not talk to her. And I'm
that's
I'm
catty.
just the type of person who like I have a real vibrant personality and I love people. And so when someone doesn't like me, I'm like, why? Like I'm great. Like, let me show you. You know what I'm saying? So it
Right.
was like, I didn't want to do, I guess, anything to cause people to not like me.
Mm,
So I didn't know. We don't know as we're living life, we learn backwards. And that definitely could have
yep.
had a lot to do with it.
Wow. We have a lot in common as far as our childhoods go, because I was a very shy kid myself, and I had
Mm,
been bullied a lot myself. So I definitely can relate to you with that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
did you feel like you had something that they didn't have, or something like that, or like, did you feel like they just picked on you
I've
for no
always
reason?
felt that way. I've always felt that way, and I've always like dimmed my light to make other people comfortable.
Wow.
That's something that I'm still working on today.
Yes, in fact, a lot of people do that, but especially people with anxiety disorders and people who, are more shy, they definitely dim their light for people. You know what I mean? And I have a problem with that too. So like, I'm finding a lot in common with you as far as, the shyness category goes. And like, it's just, we have a hard time opening up to people, but that's not necessarily a bad thing neither. You know what I mean?
No, being vulnerable is like all what I'm about today, just because like we are here for one another. We were not put in this world alone, and regardless to whatever hurts cause you to mistreat other people, like we have to be vulnerable, we have to share. And what I have, my gifts are not just for me, they're for everyone.
I love that. I love that. Cog20 said F her. Alisa Donyè is great.
Her name is Robin. I will never forget her name.
She put her all the way on blast. Like, her name Robin. Go look her up on IG. Go deep.
Right, Robin. She went to Alcott Elementary School in the 2nd grade.
Ooh,
South Park.
Shit. She giving up info, y'all. She giving up info, bruh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Tell her she ain't stopping no show.
Besides that, look, we're going to dive deep into this podcast, okay? I don't want to just ask you questions about your poetry. I also want to, ask deeper questions if that's okay with you.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. So starting off with a basic question is like, how was your childhood like? Like, what was it like, family life and things like that? And are you close with any of your family?
I'm super close with my family, with both sides of my family.
Okay.
But my childhood, like a lot of people, was a struggle. I had one parent that was like kind of absent, like not really present emotionally, and then another parent that had an addiction, so really wasn't present either.
Yeah.
So I kind of was independent. I've been independent for a long time. My childhood probably ended around 12, 13. That's when I started making like grown-up decisions. Yeah.
Oh,
but
my God.
At the same time, I know, right? But at the same time, I still had like a loving childhood, a great childhood. Like I said, I'm really close with both sides of my family. I have a ton of cousins. One of my cousins is on here right now. Hey, Court. So it's like I've always been really, really close with family. Those struggles that my parents have had, although like I was affected by it, I always tried to keep a positive outlook. And I mean, I'm just grateful to be where I am today, because things could have just been a whole lot different. But I tried to keep my childhood as normal as possible. Like I still made the decision to continue going to school. I played basketball growing up. I loved basketball. That's what like kind of kept me motivated. And I went on to play basketball in college and met amazing friends. And, so I'm grateful, and it's all good.
So you just blossoming with talent pretty much. Basketball, writing.
Yes, sir.
I heard that you do hair. So
I'm a hairstylist.
Yes. When did you start doing hair?
So crazy part about that is like, I recall like doing hair growing up, but I never thought about it. Like I became a hairstylist like 6 years ago, going on 6.5 years ago. And, but like when I thought back, I grew up doing my mom and sister's hair. I would do friends' hair, here and there. I first started a friend of mine's locks and ended up getting clients from that. So like when I was 15, I did locks for 2 years, from 15 to 17. Then when I went on to school, like I put that behind me, but like I was not expecting to be a hairstylist. That just surprised me because that was not my goal or intention. I never wanted to be a hairstylist growing up,
Right.
So for me to basically how I became a hairstylist, I just wanted to learn how to braid. And I could never get it. It was like all my life I've had amazing braiders to try to teach me, but I couldn't get it. So I just wanted to learn how to braid. I ended up working part-time in a natural salon, and 6 months later, I was like, oh, this is for me. And I went in full-time, took a leap of
Wow.
faith because I wasn't sure what my income was going to be from month to month. It was
Right.
something new, but I haven't skipped a beat since. I've been very, very blessed since becoming a hairstylist. So I'm grateful. I love what I do. I love natural hair and all its facets. And
Wow.
yeah, so I'm a hairstylist, and that's actually what brought me to Phoenix, to Arizona, because
Okay.
I currently live in LA.
Oh, okay.
So I moved to LA for an opportunity doing hair. But things have been moving really, really slow there. Nothing has happened in the way that I planned, and that put me on a detour here. So I came here to work at an amazing salon that I followed pretty much since I became a hairstylist.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm in grad school, like I'm getting that next level training right now. And it's great. I love it. I love it, love it.
Wow. So it just something that you didn't expect to be a passion just kind of just grew as a passion over time.
Yeah, it was like a passion met a gift. Like
I
I
like that
became
better.
passionate about braiding, but then while like learning, I realized that I was actually gifted,
Okay. So I just want to ask you about one of your poems real quick. So I watched all of your poems on YouTube, actually.
Yay.
I'm gonna start with one of them, okay? One of them you left
Okay.
untitled, but you was talking basically about just chasing goals, and I'll bring up a quote. You said, "Choosing after my dreams, but instead my purpose found me." So now I really know what that means now that you just told me that, you discovered that you could do hair, or that you wanted to do hair, as a teenager.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, like, you just pretty much had clients coming to you every other day, like, coming to your apartment or house or whatever, getting their hair
As a
done.
teenager,
Yeah.
it would be word of mouth, and yes, they would come to me. And I was just like trapping out the house doing lots.
Did you make a lot of
So
money? Like, was you helping
I
pay the
did.
bills?
I wasn't, no, I'm telling you, I wasn't even expecting this. So I did, but keep in mind, like I've been on my hustle since a very early age. So I was doing hair and working at the Gap and this place called Linens and Things all at the same
The
time. Like,
Gap, linens and things, and doing hair. When did you
yes.
sleep?
Sleep is for suckers. Okay.
Sleep is for suckers.
I'm joking. I need to do better. I really need to do better with getting my rest. Like, but that's just the standard that was set for my life. So I'm still working on getting sleep.
Okay, that's what's up. So I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into the poem. So you said, "I'm a messenger who desires to be your vessel."
Yes.
That's a beautiful line. That's
Thank
definitely
you.
a beautiful line. So tell me, like, how did you come up with that poem in particular?
So I was inspired. I ended up naming that one Poetic Soul just
Okay.
because I was inspired to write it after my first time going, which was February the 3rd. And the atmosphere, like, you got to help me explain to people that it's just really a place that cultivates creativity and hypes you and supports you on whatever it is that your craft, is that you're working in. So going there and experiencing that, I had never seen anything like that before, been around anything like that before. And I felt like free and open to just like let the pen take over,
Wow. Okay.
And basically it was partly me expressing myself and my journey and, being vulnerable and sharing, where I am. But also there's a bigger message, a greater message, that's bigger than me that I want to come through. So I was just like, use me, God. And he did.
That's what's up, definitely. So tell me, like, what was that first performance like, and how nervous was you?
Oh, how nervous. Now that is the question, how nervous I was. So my body was like tripping, doing things that I had never experienced or felt. from the nervousness. Like, I was so afraid to take the stage, even with my book. My book has been my comfort, even though I'm stepping away from that.
Right.
But it ended up going really well. But then, like, the release was, I randomly threw up afterward. And I don't vomit.
Not
Like,
in front of people, right? You ran to the
no,
bathroom,
no,
right?
no, no. On the way home. On the way home.
Oh, wow.
I had like a consistent headache like the entire time leading up to the mic, and I still had that headache like when I left.
Oh
And
my
I threw up,
God.
like my body was tripping off the nerves. But when I got to the mic, it wasn't so bad. Like, honestly, I felt this feeling before because, as a hooper, before
Mm-hmm.
every game, I would be nervous. But after tip off, I was good. So
Mm.
this was like pretty much the same.
Okay. Speaking of hooping, let's get into, your basketball career just a little bit, all right? So,
Okay.
like, when did you first started, playing basketball, and how good was you when you was, playing on the basketball team in college and high school? Hey, what's up, humanity?
I was 4 when I started.
Okay.
My dad was an athlete. Most of my family on my dad's side are athletes. And so my dad introduced me to basketball, had us at the YMCA, blocking every shot, stealing every ball. He was not playing with us.
So he
Okay.
was just training y'all like
And
soldiers, pretty much.
exactly. So I
Okay.
started pretty early. I didn't really get into AAU until like later in middle school. Um, so I ran a little track and played basketball in middle school, but of course basketball was like my thing. It was my sport. Um, Now I lived a very unstable childhood. So I
Okay.
don't feel like I reached my like greatest success that I could have had
Right.
hooping just because I didn't have the stability. But I still went on to play in college, and I played in women's leagues after college. So
Women's leagues
um,
after. Wow. So what was that experience like playing in women's leagues and stuff?
it was cool. Like it was more fun.
Okay.
Like we used to be, so we won a few championships. Like we were decent. I love basketball. I haven't played in a few years, like for real, for real. But that is gonna forever be like a sport that I love. Once I get back in shape, maybe I'll get back out there. I see some people around here, playing pickup at the courts. So, you never know what
Yes.
might just stay in shape. Not anything serious at this point, but yeah, basketball was like my second love for the longest. I
Wow. That's
I
what's
see
up.
some people speaking. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's
Yeah.
Sean.
Humanity 360 said something. She
Yes,
said, "Let's play 1-on-1."
Sean and Cedrica. Oh yeah, Sean. I'm sure that's Sean then. So whenever you ready, come on back to Phoenix. They
I,
should be. These people, Humanity 360, like they are traveling the world. They're doing a 50-state tour, informing
okay.
people on mental health in our community. And like they spent a month in Phoenix, and I really wasn't ready for them to go. But
Mm,
now they're on to Salt Lake City, and I'm very happy for the work that they're doing. So, like prayers to
wow.
them
That's what's
to
up, yo.
continue to do what they're doing and
That's what's
serve.
up, yo.
But
So
yeah,
what's
so that was basketball.
okay? So what was like the biggest lesson you took from that, from playing basketball for all those years?
So I always got so many lessons with basketball. Like that's one thing that I love about sports because it definitely teaches you life lessons, not
Mm,
just the
okay.
sport, but diligence, determination, not ever giving up, keep trying. Defense is everything, like always pay attention to what's happening and prepare yourself for to withstand whatever situation you go through. Teamwork will make the dream work.
Yes, I love that.
It's so many lessons that I learned from basketball. Like it's a part of who I am. It's a part of my personality.
Okay,
So
definitely, definitely. So I'm gonna
yeah,
ask you, like, your opinion. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
hype
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
Um, Loving
Okay.
and um family oriented.
Okay, that's what's
I
up.
love my family and friends so much.
That's what's up, definitely. So what's the biggest lesson you took from your childhood, and how do you apply it now?
Forgiveness,
I said the biggest lesson you took from your childhood, and how do you apply it now?
forgiveness.
Okay. Forgiveness. I love that. So, like,
Yeah.
do you have a hard time forgiving people even now?
Well, I thought at one point I thought that I didn't. At one point I thought that I was because I'm so loving and like um I don't really hold grudges, but I realized that like I kind of do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so there are things that I experienced that, well, a few things. Forgiving myself, I think that sometimes we we tend to like just live life and you feel like you're good, it's okay, I'm just gonna move on and keep going and keep pushing, but you don't necessarily realize how certain things may be affecting you and how they may be showing up in different ways, and not addressing it doesn't help. So I definitely have chosen to be intentional about forgiveness because it causes me to look at situations, look at certain people, and really like let it process and let it go. I think that we all kind of have the term misconstrued because so many.
Okay. She's bluffing a little. Okay. Seems like she's bluffing. Don't worry, y'all. She'll come back. She should come back. Hold up. Seems like her connection might have actually cut off. Yeah, but we were talking about forgiveness. Don't worry, you guys. I'll bring her back in a second. Apparently, her live just completely ended. I don't know why it ended. Alyssa, if you're in here, just go ahead and join me again. Don't worry, you guys. She'll be back in a second. I just accepted her request, so she should be joining us. And the topic was, pretty much just forgiveness and holding grudges and things like that. So let me see. Yeah, she should be joining back at us. I just accepted her request.
Okay. I
Hello.
don't know
Oh,
what
what
happened,
happened?
but I hopped on the Wi-Fi, so it won't happen again. Whatever happened,
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah, because
But
you just blacked out just now. It's okay though.
I don't
So,
know. They don't want this message to get out here. But hey, let me tell you. So
all
where
right.
I was I think we have the term misconstrued. Forgiveness. People say forgive but don't forget,
Mm-hmm.
and I disagree with that completely because I don't know where I would be if God never forgot my mistakes. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I think that helps us to not hold on to offenses, and just hold on to things because ultimately unforgiveness is poison in your own body. You know what I'm
Yes, it
saying?
is.
So
It is.
forgive, forget, let it go, be happy, love no matter what. And I would definitely say that is the biggest lesson that I learned from childhood.
Wow. Just pretty much just forgiveness, because I had a hard time forgiving people too. So, especially, when they do certain things to you, which I won't get into, but I'm going to just say that it took me a while to forgive certain people, like years in the making. And we don't realize we be holding grudges subconsciously and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
I can completely relate to that.
Yes, exactly. And like, if you don't mind sharing, like, can you share like a certain incident that you had where it was just hard to forgive that person and you have to just find everything in you to forgive them?
Well, of course, we all have like exes or, like I've had a few of those situations. And then, there's family, there are friends, loved ones hurt you too. Loved ones could
Oh, they
hurt
hurt you
you
the most.
the most, right? And
They cut you
so,
deepest.
it's like, it teaches you so much. Like, I don't think that we're supposed to come here and just be perfect and not ever be hurt. The
Right.
pain comes to teach you, to grow you, to elevate you in some way. One thing that it has helped me to do is express myself better, speak
Okay.
up on issues, and make sure that whoever is aware of how I feel. And so it's okay. Sometimes it creates conversations that need to take place.
Right. Definitely. So I love your answer so far. And I'm really feeling your energy. You have really nice energy.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So with you, like, I heard of a really deep question that I heard from Sway, and Alicia Keys asked Sway, "Why are you here?" And it was a really, really deep question. So I want to know, why are you here? Like, what's your mission here?
Why I'm here? Because like, God wants to give so many people an opportunity to make it, to receive love, to receive Him, and to get past their own issues, So I'm just the type of person who will motivate everybody, encourage every single person. Like, please don't tell me issues that you haven't, because I'm going to tell you all the reasons why that ain't an issue. You need to forget about it, let it go, make it happen regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I feel like God has me to just help to bring more people to the kingdom. Like,
Definitely.
that's why I'm here, to love regardless of being hurt, to forgive, to give, and to share, and to be more vulnerable. And I don't really know all of my gifts yet. I really, honestly, even though I've been writing since the second grade, I didn't know that poetry was a gift. So I feel that like, the more that I go in the direction of those things that I'm great at, that come naturally, the more I'll have gifts to open up and be able to operate in them. So
wow, lovely answer. I'm really loving how your mind works. You're very intelligent.
thank you. Thank you.
So, like,
I live on the bottom of the ocean. It's hard for some people to have conversations with me because I stay deep. That's just me.
That's what's up. So, like, with you, like, are you like a super religious person? Like, you go to church and you take your religion very serious?
So I grew up that way, but not so. I have a huge problem with the church, if I'm honest.
Oh,
okay.
Let's get into that. What you mean? Okay. Huge problem with the church? What like, you feel it's corrupt or something?
The hypocrisy. And I do feel like there is a bit of corruption from the world and government, right. There are so many scriptures that speak about us being the light in darkness, us standing out, people being able to tell the difference between God's people and worldly people. And I feel that like a lot of churches have gotten it mixed up and gotten it crossed. You can't tell these days. And right. I ain't with it. And I ain't finna pretend. I ain't going to your church just because it's popular. Right. If your doctrine is not right, or you're not right, and not to say that any pastor or every pastor needs to be perfect, but you need to be honest, because right. None of us are perfect. And if you standing in the pulpit acting like your stuff don't stink and right. Everybody else needs to be saved, that's a problem for me. I need to learn from you. I need to know that, like, you've been in my shoes, that you can help me through what I'm going through because you've experienced it.
Right.
And
Definitely.
you don't reach a certain level where you're immune to sin. We're all sinful.
Not at all. And I swear some people, you know, that go to church act like they shit don't stink. I've met a few people like that, definitely.
Right.
And, you know, church does have this philosophy of don't question God. So, you know, that also plays a part in why, like, so many churches are corrupt. They don't allow you to question, you know, anything in the Bible. They don't allow you to question anything that they preach, nothing. You know what I mean? It's just don't question God, listen to God, listen to whatever we say, whatever we tell you to, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Now, I would like to get back into fellowship. So I have been visiting some churches in the Phoenix area, and we'll see where I land. Wherever I land, more people should come because it's going to be the right place. They got the right things going on in there if I end up joining.
Right, definitely. So besides poetry and hairstyle, is there, you know, something that you love to do outside of those two things? Because I know we discussed basketball, but other than that.
Other than family, no. I work, and I like to travel. I just want to travel more, see the world. I really want to see the entire world, every inch of it.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, and I love my family and spending time with my boyfriend, and that's pretty much.
Okay. Boyfriend, how long y'all been together?
3 years.
Wow. And you glowing when you talk about it.
3.5 years.
Wow. I love it. I really, really love it. And I hope to see you for episode next week or tomorrow, actually.
I think I'll be there tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. I just have like way too much happening at once right now. And I really need to just kind of get things settled. I'm also in the middle of moving here. Like I'll be fully living here in the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot to be done. And I'm like here and there and everywhere. Like even today, like I had a flight this morning back from Houston and came straight to work. And I've been working all day and literally like just finished working like maybe 10 minutes before we got on, you know?
Oh my, so you're busy, huh?
Too busy, and I really need to get a handle on it. So I'm not sure if I'll be there tomorrow, maybe, but I'll be back very soon.
Okay. So I also want to ask you, you know, what was it like growing up in Houston? So you grew up in Houston, right?
Yep.
So what was it like growing up in Houston? And like, what's the difference?
Houston's culture is like no other. Like you're not going to find it nowhere else. The music, you know, we have music that is just strictly for us. Most people don't like screw and things like that, you know, but we loved it growing up. You know, we just have our own culture. So I think that part alone is amazing. Houston is a great place. The only one downside to Houston is the flooding, you know, the flooding and the rain. But other than that, Houston is an amazing place. So many great things can happen there. And yeah, Houston is great.
Okay. Definitely. So I want to ask you, like, how do you protect your zen and keep your peace in check? Like, how do you do that?
Well, I'm a work in progress when it comes to protecting my own energy because I like, you know, I had that bullying experience from Robin and I developed people pleasing, you know? So that therefore, like, I would say yes to things that I really didn't want to do or, you know, just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and things like that. So one way that I protect my energy and keep my zen is saying no more.
Yes, definitely. And that's one thing that, you know, I'm still working on too, is just saying no to people because, you know, I'm an empath. And when I say no to people, it's like, you know, you can feel that emotion.
I feel everything. Yes.
Yes, definitely. And for me, you know, I'm a really shy person too. So when I say no to somebody and then like they get mad, it's like, but I had to realize that I have to be selfish in a way when it comes down to, myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So can you name a time that you took a stand and you said no and you felt really good about it?
Let's see. Yeah, actually. So I always want to try to show support no matter what, no matter how tired I am, no matter what I got going on, and do everything and be everywhere at once, like all of that. And just like saying, no, I'm gonna take a chill pill on I'm gonna sit this one out. I ain't gonna go. And I was able to get rest that I need. And honestly, I should do that more often.
Right.
But it's a shame that it took me years to get to that point where it's okay to say no and to give yourself what you need. Like everything is not about everybody else. Sometimes we do have to make sure that we are receiving everything that we need from ourselves.
Okay. Yes, definitely. I love that, man. I love talking to you. I really do.
Great. I love talking to you too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So with you, we're gonna go back to hair for a second, okay?
Okay.
So what's an upside and a downside about, being in that industry and doing hair?
Upside is it's always changing. Downside is it's always changing.
So that pretty much just sums it up.
Yeah, it's great though. I know coming from corporate America, I was in a position where I had pretty much reached the ceiling. Like what I was doing was what I was going to be doing, and every day was so repetitive. But I love the fact that every day is new, even though I could be doing the same styles every day, but it's different because it's a different person. You know what I'm saying? It's a different client. I could put a different spin on it, I can use my creativity. And for the longest, I didn't know that I had any creativity, even though I wrote, I still didn't, because I wasn't sharing it or getting responses from other people, validation or whatever. I really didn't see it as creativity. So it's another way for me to be creative. So those are some upsides. Downside, I would say that you don't know what your income is going to be from month to month, but honestly, I've been really blessed. A lot of stylists have downtime in the summer. I've never had that issue.
Wow.
Some of them even have downtime after the holidays. Never had that issue. I'm grateful. Wow. I'm really, really, really grateful. I don't have a whole lot of downsides for what I do. I love it.
Okay. So I want to go back to just downsides again for just a second. So how did you hold up during COVID when COVID was really at its peak? How did you, maintain yourself?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't even try to hold up. I was in the house and I was not going outside because it was sick outside and I wasn't stepping foot on the porch. Okay. I was in the house for 3 weeks straight. I did not go outside. The great thing is that so many things became virtual and I was able to tune in to so many stylists that I admire and hear great words of affirmation and motivation and business tips and see demos on styles that I could try. And I was able to learn a lot. COVID was good for me on so many levels, in so many ways. COVID was good.
Yeah, because people tend to complain a lot about how COVID affected them. And, some people lost their jobs. Some people, lost everything. So, I was blessed to have a source of income. I was doing Uber at the time. So, that was running great. But, I just felt bad for people who didn't have that source of income or people who was living off of unemployment at the time. You know what I mean? But it's gotten to the point where people are getting too comfortable with unemployment now. Now they don't even want to go back to work.
Exactly. See that, and that's another thing that just goes back to my childhood, and I can find gratefulness in any bad situation because of it. If it had not been for like things that I experienced with having to be like an adult at a very young age, I would not like be able to find resources, like as quickly as I do. But at the time that COVID happened, I was actually in Houston. So, I'm resourceful. I'm going to make it happen no matter what I got to do to make it happen. As long as it's legal and God approves, I'm going to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So, it did slow down my Cali progression because I moved there in December of 2019. So COVID happened 3 months later. And so therefore I never got going in Cali, but I don't see it as a bad thing. I just see it as I'm supposed to be in Phoenix. This is where God will have me to be. And so much has been going great for me here. So it's been good.
Okay, definitely. I love that. I love the fact that you found a hustle, you found a way to make money and be blessed during such a terrible, terrible time. So, I'm glad that you're telling me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm able to be a blessing as well, by sharing what so many people need to hear with my poetry. And I love like just getting out, giving back. So I'm grateful to be in a place where I'm easily able to connect with my tribe of people and do the things that I love to do. And I literally serve everywhere I go.
Okay.
I serve at work. I serve at Poetic Soul. I serve when I'm off work. Like, I'm a servant.
Okay. And you said that you're a peaceful person and you're a patient person. So
I'm so patient.
Okay, so how do you deal with people like, that are in your face yelling and screaming or Karens or stuff like that? How do you deal with them?
I'm from the hood now. Let's not forget. I was raised in South Park. So, but I've come a very, very long way. I'm grateful for my growth and maturity. There was a point in time where, I would be very patient up until the point where things just go left, but I wouldn't say that I have experienced anything like that, like, in the recent years.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Because even road rage, I had to let that go. My road rage was too bad, And people are crazy out here. They shooting people these days,
People be driving. People be driving like they got some blindfolds on or something.
Exactly. But I have to let them make it, get them the road, let them make it. That really is like the only thing that grinds my gears is bad drivers,
Yeah, like some of them be doing the Bird Box Challenge. I'm pretty convinced.
Bird Box Challenge?
You never heard of the Bird Box
Challenge? With the blindfolds on. Yes. I'd hear bad. And no, like when I first started coming to Phoenix, I used to see so many accidents. I barely missed a few different accidents. Actually, I ended up having an accident. Something flew off of somebody's truck or boat that they were pulling and hit my car since I've been here.
What did it do?
It damaged.
Did it break your windshield?
No, it hit my bumper. It was a seat from the boat. It flew off and hit my bumper, damaged my bumper, but it was all good. I got insurance information. They took care of it, so it worked out.
But got a nice check, right?
Yeah. Well, they literally only took care of the damage. That was it. But I appreciate it. But other than that, like I don't really put myself in a position to have like certain altercations with people, and like I just don't experience that anymore. Thankfully.
Okay.
Not to say that, one day it won't happen, because it's crazy people out there that would want to
Right.
try me. But I don't know how I will react. I let's pray that it will be the godly reaction. It would be
Yes,
with
definitely.
you.
Definitely. So we will go back to Poetic Soul for just a second. So have you met a lot of really good people at Poetic Soul? Like, are you like really good friends with anybody?
I have I have met like really close people. Let's see, people or person.
What's the
People.
difference?
I Well, I'm trying to think if it's like one or a few people that I've become really close to.
Okay.
And probably just two or three people that I've become like really close to. But and it's still the beginning. Who knows what relationships could develop. But I Poetic Soul has been really, really, really great. I absolutely love Cosmic and everything that he is doing with this platform.
Yes.
I just have never seen anything like this before. So it's really just amazing to me. And he does what he does so well. It is just like beautiful
Yes.
to see. And he's so supportive of everybody. It's like we have a similar personality because it's like he doesn't meet a stranger. Everybody is his friend. Like he is so cool. We both are cool.
Wow.
So I don't know if that
Wow.
has anything to do with it.
So with you, when it come down to, speaking an open mic, was that Poetic Soul your first open mic experience, or have you had other open mic experiences besides that?
That was my first open mic experience. I have recited at a funeral before. So once
Wow.
before in 2019, September of 2019, I recited for the first time in front of a crowd at a funeral. And then from then to March of 2021, this year,
Okay.
was like my first time actually like doing it to be doing it for this purpose to share my gift. That was like it's been great though. Like I love even though it's a nervous feeling every time,
Oh
I
yeah.
love the feeling of being vulnerable, of sharing. Well, let me correct myself. I don't love the feeling of being vulnerable, but I love
Okay.
what it brings. I love the I guess the liberation from it.
Okay. Definitely. Definitely. So with you, when it come down to poetry, do you have any influencers or like other poets that you look up to? Because I know you mentioned When the Sidewalk Ends, which was an excellent book, but any other poets that you like look up to and that you studied? Because I know you said, oh yeah,
Um,
you said Edgar Allan Poe was one of them too. You say you got introduced as a child.
yes. So as far as studying poets, no. I
Okay.
mean, I love Maya Angelou. I love
Mm-hmm.
um Langston Hughes.
Yes.
Um
Yes. I love him too.
Amanda Gorman is amazing. Like I'm definitely highly influenced by her. Like she's goals for sure. I love that young lady. But when I like that poem that you brought up, like sleeping on the gifts and purpose placed inside,
Mm-hmm.
I think like that's part of it. Like me not really going into that area or that direction at all. Like
Oh
had
wow.
I studied more of the poets that I love and appreciate, then I probably would have shared my own much earlier.
Yes, that makes
So,
sense. Definitely. And me
but it's
myself,
waking up.
I'm sorry.
It's waking up.
Oh, okay. Me
The gift
myself,
is waking up.
yes, definitely. And how much poetry do you have stashed away? Because you mentioned that you stashed a lot of poetry away. You got like a box full of poems that we haven't heard yet.
Well, no, because I mean, I have a bit, but as far as like just a long stash, no, because I lived an unstable childhood. I lost a lot growing up.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't really have a lot of things today that I had, from childhood. So, but I do have enough to publish something if I chose to. I have a book that I just go. It has to be written. It has to be
Okay.
longhand for me. That's the way it flows. It has to be pen to paper. And so I have my book, and it has some really good stuff in it, and I'm definitely gonna share it. I think I've shared two, four, maybe 4 or 5 different ones with Poetic Soul,
Okay.
and I'm just using those to develop myself. So I want to learn them all by heart, and right now I only know one of them by heart, which is the one that you mentioned.
Oh, okay, definitely. So
Yeah.
like, when it comes down to your poetry, do you want like, a lot of attention? Like, for example, like, what if we posted a poem and it went viral? Would you want that type of attention?
Would I want it? I'm not after fame, but
Okay.
if I become famous, I'll do it well.
Yeah, because
So
some people, when it comes down to fame, I heard that fame's a lot harder to handle than people think it is. Like, because everybody
yeah,
want to be up in your business. Everybody want to know what you're doing, and I'm a private person. That shit's gonna get on my nerves after a while. So when it
yeah.
comes down to fame, I don't know if I'm gonna handle that pretty well.
I think you gonna do however you believe you gonna do. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But I personally feel like because you also have heard that like becoming rich, becoming famous makes you more of who you already are. That's gonna be the bomb for everybody if I'm more of who I already am. So I think it'll be a great thing.
Okay. And we got Snap Deep in here. He's showing you some love.
Thank you, Snap D.
Because I know
Yeah.
I know he performs and stuff too. So I want to get into another poem that you wrote. It's called
Oh,
Time for
Snap D.
Change.
Yeah. Time,
Time for Change. I want to bring up that poem.
time for change.
Yes. So how did you, what was going through your mind when you're writing that? And I also want to ask you about your process when it comes down to writing your poetry. Like, does it take you a long time? Does it take you days? Does it take you just a few minutes? Like, how long does it take you usually?
Well, actually, it depends because I have a lot of unfinished work too.
Okay.
Like sometimes most of the time it doesn't take me long. Like as soon
Okay.
as I put pen to paper, I just go, and I know when it's complete. And I have a few things that like I just don't feel that it's complete. And I went through my book actually last week and like kind of went back to some things and added some stuff, but it still isn't complete. So it just depends, you know.
Right.
I think it's time for change was just a one and done. Like I wrote that probably in 5 minutes.
5 minutes? You writing
Yeah,
poems in 5 minutes? That's a gift. That's
it's
a
a gift.
gift. Because that's a
It's a
really
gift.
good poem, too. So, like, I want to bring up a
Thank
couple
you.
quotes that I loved. You said, I don't
Okay.
think any of us will see shit change up. And you said, having no empathy for your own people that you look at as beneath you. Was you talking to somebody in particular or just society?
Society. I'm sick of seeing it. Like I'm tired of seeing us like feel like we need to move out the hood. Like let's move over here and forget what's going on over there. Like you're
Right.
not going to be accepted over there the way you think. You know what I'm saying? I've heard so many stories of people being harassed by police in their own neighborhoods because they feel like they don't belong because of the
Right.
color of their skin. So if you just go and make your own community better, I mean, that just makes more sense,
Definitely.
in my
Definitely.
opinion.
Yeah, because some people, act bougie or high society when they move out the hood and they act like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't, say hi to you no more. They can't have a decent conversation with you no more. They got to use 4 or 5 syllable words around you. You know
It's
what I mean?
crazy.
Trying to talk like like you're beneath them. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely
Exactly.
relate to
I,
that.
I don't I don't like the we all have choices. Everybody have choices quote. Like I don't put yourself don't separate yourself as if like this ultimately doesn't affect you. Because
Right.
regardless if some random black person is doing something on the other side of the world, you're still going to be seen a certain way by what they do.
Right.
So you can't separate yourself. You Black.
Exactly. So
and that's just the end of the story.
Right. Have you had any family or friends or anybody close to you that kind of acted in that way? Like got some money, came up on some money, and then acted like they couldn't fuck with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shy. Say her name.
No. I wouldn't say that that like it's been done to me like directly, but I've just seen it done time and time again. And my thing is like I completely understand when people say that they have children, they want to put them in a different environment. I get it, because to a great extent, like you can't control what's happening in the streets of the hood, like it's
right.
Although we would want to see better, there are things going on that it's not under control. And I can understand someone wanting to put their child in a better environment. Right. But even if you do that, even if you move away, you still should not separate yourself. Give back. Teach your child to go back and give back. You know what I'm saying? To help. Right. Because nobody else is coming to save us. Nobody else is going to do it. We have to look out for our own.
Right. Definitely. I love that. You're very deep. You're like, you were definitely right when you said that you're a deep person. Like you're very
at all times. At all times.
And then the last poem I'm going to talk about is called Lost Ones.
So that one I wrote when I got to Poetic Soul. Like I decided I wanted to get into the atmosphere and write something in the environment. And it probably took me maybe 30 minutes on that one though, because I kept getting distracted. It's like it's hard to write with music and people and everything going on. So I and stay focused on what I'm trying to deliver. So that one probably took like 30 minutes.
Wow. So 30 minutes distracted though?
30 minutes
distracted. So if you wasn't distracted, that probably would have been done in 10 or 15.
And they probably would have had more added to it.
You just be speed writing all of these beautiful words into your stuff. You know what I mean? And I love it.
It's God. Like
that's a gift.
That's why I say I'm just a messenger who desires to be a vessel. Like I want God to use me, but I don't think all those words are my own. Like I ain't gonna never be too big headed to believe that the power is from me alone,
I love it. I definitely love it. So God is just writing through you pretty much.
Yes.
Definitely.
You got a message for everybody. And I'm gonna deliver it.
Yes. And then I'm gonna bring up my two favorite quotes. You said, no matter what arena you step in, you have the power of God within. I love that one. And then when you said, when you know better, do better. Which the reason why I brought that up is because how do you better apply that to your life? Not because I be telling people all the time, it's not just about knowing what to do, it's about doing better and actually taking action. So like, how do you try to follow that advice through your day-to-day life?
Well, I always really look for tools because, like, to go back to the forgiveness part, I like in my mind I forgave, right? Mm-hmm. But if you only have what you already know to base everything that you do off of, then nothing really changes. You may feel like you're changing something, but if you don't have new information that you're applying, then nothing is changing. So I ended up listening to a series by Pastor Michael Todd called Forgiveness University. And when I tell you, that literally gave me all the tools that I needed. And then, of course, the word, has so many tools. And, through prayer, asking Holy Spirit to assist you with, understanding and being able to apply. I think, there's nothing that we can't do. Like if you want to be better, you can be better. If you want to grow and do things differently, you literally can. But
Yes.
how focused are you going to be in on making that happen and checking yourself?
Yes,
That
definitely.
be a problem sometimes. Some people don't want to take accountability, but you have to. None of us are perfect. You know what I'm saying? So people really can't judge you for not being perfect. It is what it is. So
Yes.
be okay with checking yourself.
Yes, definitely.
It's for your own
So
growth.
I want to ask you, like, are you more of a, we have only a couple more questions. We got about 2 more questions. I'll let you go.
I got time.
All right. So are
Let's
you
do
do you consider yourself more of an optimist or like a pessimist or like
it.
kind of in the
Definitely
middle?
an optimist.
Okay. Okay.
Like
Definitely.
nothing is bad to me. Like
Oh,
everything is
wow.
working together for my good,
So it's
no
either
matter
blessings
how
or
it looks.
lessons. I love it.
Yes.
Definitely. So do you consider yourself an introvert?
Hmm.
So very extroverted, very extroverted.
I love people. Like when I say hype, I be having to calm myself down sometimes because I can be extra.
Oh,
I love
okay.
people. Yeah.
Wow. So usually when, people are hype sober. So like, are you a lot worse when you drink or you don't drink at all?
Um, I do get friendlier when I'm drunk. I don't really get drunk anymore. It's been like 10 years since I just been drunk.
Wow.
But or probably 5 years. But I definitely get more friendly. I don't meet a stranger as it is. So if I'm
Okay.
drinking and we in a, an atmosphere where everybody mingling, like I'm probably gonna know everybody.
Definitely, definitely. So
Yeah.
like, if you could give advice to yourself 5 years ago, what would you tell her?
The 5 year ago me, patience.
Mm.
And keep in mind that like I definitely am a very patient person, but when I say patience to myself, it's feeling like I'm supposed to be better than I am or
Right.
somewhere different than where I am. And um I needed to be more present and more patient with myself.
Definitely. And patience is something I got to work on too. So still something I'm heavily working on, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, even when you are naturally patient, you still got to work on patience. So, like I said,
Definitely.
I'm naturally a patient person, but I've always had an issue with my road rage. That's impatient. So
You said you got more control over it though.
I do now, but
Okay.
for me to have always naturally been a patient person, I still have to work at being patient. You know.
You got to teach me some things about having, better self-control over what you say out your mouth when people are driving. Because the shit that come out of my mouth, like, I've been in a lot of fights by now if people would have heard the stuff that I'd be saying.
Well, see, the thing is, like, your mood can either it will be controlled in one way or another, right?
Right.
So you can have better control over it by laughing it off. Like
Mm.
I'm not, how people be like, the devil is a lie.
Right.
I ain't gonna let the devil disturb my peace or whatever. So like you gotta have the control over your peace. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So if somebody cut you off, like literally slow down and let them have it.
Yeah.
and be
Understandable.
like, and be like, and I'm still gonna have a good day. Bless you. I hope you make it safely without having an accident. Still bless them.
Definitely, man. I have to practice on that because my thing is tailgating. Do not tailgate me. Do not tailgate me. I hate that, especially if I'm
Yeah.
going 5 miles over the limit and you're still tailgating me.
So here's the thing that I feel about that. Like when you are like make something known that it's what you don't like, it's gonna happen.
Yes, it
You know what I'm
manifests.
saying? You will be
Yes.
tested with that. So like and maybe that is part of your patience, you learning the patience that you need. So when someone gets behind you and they too close to you, just get over them. You know what I'm saying? Don't even feed it. Like
Yes,
don't wait and see what
definitely.
they gonna do. Don't none of that. You know, immediately abort. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna definitely try to follow that. So, you know, when I get back on the road tonight, I'm gonna try to follow your advice. And
Good. You control your energy. You control your mood, because you ain't gonna never have a conversation with that person, but you can go on to the rest of your day and you still be irritated every time you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, let it go. Don't hold on to offenses if you possibly can. Let everything go and just be happy.
I love it. I fucking love it. I really do. You're like the therapist. You must be the therapist in your friend group.
I am one of the therapists. My best friend, she the real therapist. Like, she needs to go get that degree, because she's the real therapist. But I am like, people do come to me for advice.
Okay, definitely. And I see why. You know, you're very wise.
Anytime.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I pray that God continues to make me wiser and give me the words that people need when they come to me. So
definitely. So before we get out of here, tell everybody where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram, Alisa Donyè, AlisaDonye is my personal page. I also have a hair page at Natural Styles by Alisa, Alisa. And I'm also on YouTube at Alisa Donyè. I will be sharing my journey. I got some crazy ups and downs to share with y'all, as well as my poetry. So be on the lookout. And then I have Twitter. I think my Twitter is also Alisa Donyè. And most things are Alisa Donyè. Facebook also.
Definitely. Very enlightening interview. Hope to speak to you again, and I hope to see you at Poetic Soul. Thank you so much for doing this for me. This is a blessing for me. And this is, you know, interviewing people, something I always want to do. And if you want to check me out, because I'm actually a poet too. So if you want to check me out, my Instagram is in my link.
Oh, it's not the El3vation Radio. You got your own personal.
I got my own personal
I got to follow
Instagram.
you.
Okay,
definitely. I'm definitely going to go follow you. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. I appreciate the interview. I loved all the questions that you asked.
Thank you.
And you're doing great. Like, keep that up. And you cannot fail at doing what you love and really desire. So just know that it only gets greater from here.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words. And like I said, I'll speak to you soon, and you have a good one, okay?
Thank you. You too. Speak to you soon.
All right, speak to you soon.